Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to make another video with the current news and updates on RGBA. Here is a picture of some of the RGBA fighters that attended this Saturday's event, Prospects Collide 2, there in San Bernardino. Misael Rodriguez in the black shirt, and then with the RGBA shirt with the bull is Isidro Ochoa from the Central Valley RGBA, Lindolfo Delgado, Josesito Lopez, Louie Coria, Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames, and there on the far right you have Aaron Mares, the most active fighter of the team in 2018. He fought 5 times in 9 months. He's currently 7-0. He's from Oklahoma. So with the win, 9-0, improving to 9-0. Ruben Rodriguez. His next fight date is rumored to be November 9th. He has fought in January, March, April, June, August, and now September. So he's fought 6 times in 8 months. He's scheduled to fight in November, and there's a possibility he might fight another time after November. So keep your eyes open. He's from Indio. He is fights at 140, so he gets tons of great sparring with Mikey, Lindolfo Delgado, WBC and WBA world champion Jose Ramirez from Avenal, and Vergil Ortiz is his last 2 fights have been 147, but for a while he's been at 140. So some of the best sparring in the world for Ruben Rodriguez, prospect out of Indio. Breenan Macias gets the win and improves to 4-0 with 2 draws. You can follow him at B_fly301, Breenan Macias from Goodyear, Arizona. Alfredo Escarcega fought to a draw with his opponent. It was a 4-rounder. He was, I think, the third to last fight. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, he is at ae.jr. His initials .jr. He is from Phoenix, Arizona, out of the F1 boxing gym. Ivan Garcia, 5-0 from Paris. His fight was canceled. So I think his opponent failed to pass some of his medical exams. I vaguely remember something to those lines. So if you want to follow Ivan, he's at IV, the number 3N. So Ivan, instead of the A, a 3, _ Garcia. All his fights have been in Mexico, and so this was going to be his U.S. debut plus his RGBA debut. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to fight. So we look forward to seeing Ivan in the future. Mikey Garcia, 39-1, 30 knockouts. The rumors of him signing with Eddie Hearn have been put to sleep. Yes, he is on the phone a lot with Eddie Hearn, but he has not announced a fight deal. So he's talking with a lot of different people, talking with the PBC people. He did admit that in talking with the PBC people, the fight with Danny Garcia was brought up, and then also the idea, and it's not the first time, but the fight with Manny Pacquiao has been brought up. So he has not sat down to negotiate either of those fights, but they have been asked if he had any interest in those, and of course he said he had interest in both. So at Team Mikey Garcia, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Another successful event. This is the 3rd time in the same location in San Bernardino. Plus, they've had, I believe, 2 other Garcia Promotions has had 2 other events. One scheduled for September 28th in Grand Prairie, Texas. So Mikey Garcia, 39-1, 30 knockouts. At Team Mikey Garcia on Instagram if you want to follow him. Abner Mares, 31-3 and 1. He is currently getting back in shape. He's on the diet. He's been given the green light to go back to training. He suffered a detached retina and had to cancel his fight in February. So if you want to follow him, he's at Abner Mares or at Abner Mares Official on Instagram. Josesito Lopez, 36-8. He was present at the fights this Friday, there in San Bernardino. He was there with his brother, I believe. And he's scheduled to fight John Molina Jr. September 28th on the Spence Porter undercard. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Jose Lopez on Instagram. Jose Carlos Ramirez, 25-0, 17 knockouts. He is the current WBC and WBO champion. If I'm not mistaken. The belt he took off of Maurice Hooker. At JC Ramirez 2012 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1. His last fight was in February against Humberto La Zorrita Soto. At Brandon Rios 1 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Esquiva Falcao, the Brazilian Olympian, fights at 160. He's middleweight. He's a southpaw. 24-0, 16 knockouts. We have no update on him. If you have any information, I haven't been following the fighters as closely as before. So if you want to write in the comments any new dates that you're aware of that I don't know. There's been a lot of dates thrown out there, and I haven't been able to follow the guys on Instagram as closely as I normally do. So if you have any news out there, please feel free to put it in the comments. Esquiva Falcao 24-0 at Esquiva Falcao on Instagram. Erick DeLeon 19-0 with 1 draw. More news on him coming soon at Team DeLeon 1. Hector Tanajara, the WBC Youth Champion at 135, 18-0, 5 knockouts. He called out, I believe after his fight in Grand Prairie, he called out Ryan Garcia. That's the only fight he's interested in, it sounds like. So he took care of Ezequiel Aviles, 16-3-3 from Ensenada, Baja California. So he continues to be the WBC 135 Youth Champion. At Hector_Tanajara if you want to follow him on Instagram. Carlos Caballo Bronco Adames. I just saw something on social media about him potentially having a fight with J-Rock. What a wonderful opportunity for him to display his skills. J-Rock clearly did a very wonderful and skillful job against Jarrett Hurd and became the world champion. So he was very adamant about his opponent enrolling into a testing program for against PEDs and so forth. So it looks like that fight has fallen apart. So maybe Caballo Bronco can fill in the as an opponent for Jarrett Hurd against Julian J-Rock Williams. So at Caballo Bronco if you want to follow him on Instagram. Another Dominican Republic fighter along with Caballo is El Phoenix. His name is Jackson Marinez. He's 18-0. He's a super lightweight. There you see him fight sparring with one of the McKenna brothers. At L_Phoenix on Instagram if you want to follow him. He's one of the newest additions to the team. Jonathan Thunder Navarro 16-0, 8 knockouts. After his stablemate Genaro Gamez lost a 10-rounder versus Luis Feliciano, Jonathan Thunder Navarro went to social media and called out Luis Feliciano. If you want to get the work, it is available. So he is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. He fights at 140. He hasn't fought since last December. So, and he's training out of Maywood, but he's still part of the team. So, at Thunder Navarro on Instagram if you want to follow him. Carlos Licona has a fight September 21st in Bakersfield on a PBC card. 15-1, 2 knockouts. He lost his IBF title for the 105. I believe it was in February, but I believe he's made the move to 108. So he's got a fight scheduled September 21st. At Mexicanito12 on Instagram if you want to follow him. Joshua El Profesor Franco, 15-1-2, standing 8 boxing there in Texas. Made a real nice flyer yesterday, and it included Joshua Franco versus Chocolatito. So that was starting to hit social media, and they both fight at 118. So, well, Chocolatito started at lighter weights, but could probably easily fight at 118 now, since it's later in his career. So, at one Professor Franco, if you want to follow him on Instagram. And like I said before, if you have any dates that I'm not aware of, please put them in the comments and I'll add them. Fight dates for these fighters. Vergil Ortiz, 14-0, 14 knockouts. Just won by 6-round TKO versus San Diego's Antonio Orozco, who's now 28-2. His only 2 losses have been to, one loss to Vergil and the previous one to Jose Ramirez. At Vergil Ortiz on Instagram if you want to follow him. Joseph Blessed Hands Adorno, he will be fighting October 18th. At Real Joseph Adorno on Instagram if you want to follow him. He is a top-ranked fighter. He is fights at 130 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 130. His little brother, Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno, 2-0. He'll have the same fight date. At Magic Hands _Jeremy if you want to follow him on Instagram. Also promoted by Top Rank. Louie Coria, 12-2, was scheduled to fight this Saturday on the Tyson Fury undercard, but for some reason that fight was canceled. So we'll be looking for another date for Louie Coria, or his team will be looking for another date for him. 12-2 at King Louie 416 if you want to follow him on Instagram. He is from Moreno Valley. He's a free agent. John El Terrible Bauza, 13-0, 5 knockouts. Thank you to the follower who wrote in the comments that he is also on the October 18th date. I did not know that, so thank you for writing that in the comments. That lets me update these as much as possible. So John El Terrible Bauza, I believe he fights at 140. He's a junior welterweight. 13-0, 5 knockouts, October 18th. I believe he's from New Jersey. He's promoted by Top Rank. You see him there with Lee Samuels. So at Real John Bauza on Instagram if you want to follow him. Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, 10-0, 9 knockouts. He just signed to Now Promotions. So at Porkchop_214 if you want to follow him on Instagram. He fights at 135. Lindolfo Delgado, 10-0. He's promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. He'll be fighting September 28th on the Spence Quarter Undercard, the PBC event there at the Staples Center in LA. At Lindolfo Delgado if you want to follow him on Instagram. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 10-0, 6 knockouts. He is promoted by Tekken Promotions. He is out of San Antonio. He's the younger brother to Joshua Franco, who's promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. At 210 Bam if you want to follow him on Instagram. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, 10-0. I have no updates on him. At Team Bulletproof on Instagram, on social media if you want to follow him. Misael Chino Rodriguez will be fighting on September 28th, 9-0. Also another Olympian, also promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. At Misael Loti on Instagram if you want to follow him. Genaro Gamez, 9-1, 6 knockouts. Robert had great things to say about his performance. They didn't come out with the win, but he showed a lot of grit. He showed a lot of strength by coming back after being hurt and fighting back. So although he didn't get the win, it showed a lot of good qualities out of him. That was Robert's, his trainer's comment based on his fight against Luis Feliciano, August 22nd at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio. So we'll see what's next for him. At Genaro Gamez on Instagram. Aaron the Silencer McKenna, 8-0. We'll see what's next for him. At Aaron MCK99. He is one of the 2 McKenna brothers that has signed recently to be part of the team RGBA. Ray Danger Muratalla, 8-0, 5 knockouts. He had a fight in the Pachenga Casino this summer, along with Caballo and another, and I think it was Ruben Rodriguez. So there were rumors that he'd be on Prospects Collide 2, but unfortunately that didn't pan out. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Ray_Muratalla1. Aaron Morales, 7-0, 3 knockouts. He'll be fighting September 21st in Bakersfield. At Aaron_Morales. If you want to follow him on Instagram, we have had no updates on Brian Lua, who's 5-0, 2 knockouts. He's promoted by Top Rank, fights at 135. He's from the Central Valley RGBA. At Brian_Lua, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Robert Biggie Rodriguez has had a few fights this year already. He fought at the Saboba Casino along with Aaron, and he's scheduled to fight September 21st in Bakersfield on the PBC card, promoted by TGB. At Biggie JR_, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Alexis El Macizo Espino, 4-0. He fought in Hermosillo 2-3 weeks ago. So there's a chance he might be fighting on an event where 2 YouTubers fought an amateur fight, but now they're going to make it an official, without headgear, professional fight. Logan Paul. There's rumors that Alexis might be on the event. At _Alexis Espino 1, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Izaac Colunga. For updates on him, you can follow his mom at Carrie Colunga, his aunt Shelly_Shell12, or a family friend, Dodger Girl 19. At Team_Colunga to follow Isaac and his story. Stevie Hitman McKenna. Here you see him sparring Jackson Marinez, El Phoenix. Has a fight date for October 10th in the hangar in Costa Mesa on a Roy Engelbrecht promotion. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Stevie_McKenna. Evan Sanchez, him and his family, along with Al Perez run the Central Valley RGBA. He fought a couple times this year already in Mexico. At Real Evan Sanchez, if you want to follow him on Instagram, he fights at 147. There in the RGBA shirt with the bull is Isidro Ochoa, 7-0. He's a bantamweight southpaw. He's on the Tyson Fury card there in Las Vegas from the Central Valley RGBA. He was present for the Prospects Collide 2 here in San Bernardino last Friday. Isidro Ochoa, 7-0. Here's a picture of some of the amateurs with their belts from a tournament that they had in Menifee. And here's another picture of some more amateurs that they had they had a sparring event there held in RGBA Riverside. You see Joelito in the middle. Hernandez, he's an amateur fighter that fights out of that. And then on the far left and far right are two brothers that I believe their last name is Herrera, and I believe they're from either the La Puente area or either La Puente or somewhere in that area. RGBA's professional record as of now is 60 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws, and their amateur record is 18-6. The amateur places that they've gone this year are Pomona, Arlanza, El Monte, San Diego, Menifee, and Compton. Thank you to Cumbia, the official photographer for the team. Thank you to Ellie from ES News. Thank you to Rainbow from Teased by Rainbow. Thank you for everybody who helps us promote the team and puts out information on the team in regards to dates and regards to their next fights coming up in regards to their training. So I know I'm missing a bunch of people, but Frank Silva does a lot of good work and puts a lot of information out there to help us stay updated on the team. Vergil Ortiz Jr. always does a really good job of going Instagram Live and giving us updates on Vergil. So thank you to everybody, fighters, trainers, media, managers, everybody who updates pictures on their or information on their social media to allow us to keep updated on Team RGBA. Like I mentioned, I haven't been able to follow the team as closely as possible. So if you have any updates on dates on any of the fighters, please put it in the comments. That way I can give out the best information possible. So please like and subscribe. I'm Somtail Media on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Somtail_media, and you can follow me on Instagram, Somtail_media. Have a great day.